Edo State House of Assembly don continue their investigation inside the Museum of West Africa Arts mowaa project and the Radisson Blu Hotel wey dem dey build for Benin City. The investigation dey follow serious concern about how money take enter the project, how land take change hand, and whether dem follow correct procedure. The House hold fact-finding hearing on Thursday, 20th November 2025, where representatives from the Benin Royal Palace, Ministry of Art, Culture and Creative Economy, stakeholders and lawyers wey get connection with mowaa come. Chairman of the mowaa committee, Honorable Ade Emahu Isibo, come remind everybody say the assembly get constitutional power to investigate anything wey concern the state. E come here and say belle no sweet am at all, say mowaa people no come defend the document wey dem submit.
I'm of the view that the case being in court, I don't know the legality or the procedurality of whether my claim can still be invited out of the cases in court over the same matter. That's number two. I also need to understand that the federal government has to set up a committee over the same subject matter, which I'm aware of. Also, they asked for a representative committee. So these are the issues. My client doesn't even know we are to attend. Is it the one federal government has begun the investigation, or the one we ask ourselves, ask already? As the committee to look, or this one, and the case is not. So these are the issues that have been suppressed to our clients. The minister of the committee, the minister, the ask of rep assembly committee, and most of the representatives of Edo State, they are also part of that committee. Now, the assembly also have a committee, and the case also in court. So these are the that I said, well, let me come here to explain. So now know the procedures to do.
First of all, there is nowhere on the face of this document where the Edo State government is a party to this suit. Secondly, the Edo State House of Assembly is not a party to this suit. And I will go further to state, thankfully, we have a very distinguished and eminent senior advocate in your good self here. The constitutional powers of the Edo State House of Assembly to investigate any matter whatsoever with regard to matters to which we have appropriated monies belonging to the people of Edo State is constitutional, is sacrosanct. It is not something any judge can even sit in court and say to the Edo State House of Assembly, you can no longer perform your functions as legislators. It is a, let me use local balance now, no-go area. To that extent, I would not say you have made an application for adjournment, no. I think you are just bringing to our knowledge the fact that your clients briefed you very late. But even in that regard, sir, I would like to say that with every sense of responsibility, your clients have not been fair to you. We initially scheduled to hold this public hearing about a week ago. The reason why we are all gathered here today is because your clients wrote to us appealing to extend the time by 1 week. And not only did they do that, your client, mowaa, picked today's date. Ordinarily, as a House of Assembly, we could have gone ahead to say we want a specific date and that is it. But we bent over backwards to ensure that there will be no cry of foul play or denial of fair hearing. And agreed to today, fixed by your client. Therefore, sir, you must agree with me, I am sure, that it will be complete completely out of place for your client to come this morning to inform us today, the 20th of November, about a case that was filed on the 7th of November, a case that was already brought to their knowledge before they even wrote us and said to us they are coming today. Sir, please hold on, so that it doesn't look like we are in an argument, for avoidance of any doubt whatsoever. We will proceed with the hearing today. We are done to today at the instance of your client. This is simply a fact-finding public hearing. And I do not, and I'm sure my honorable colleagues on this side of the divide cannot see what your client stands to lose by simply stating its own side of the story. I have not seen what danger they might encounter. And also, sir, in rounding up, I also do not see in any way whatsoever the nexus between the Edo State government, the Edo State House of Assembly, and the suit in question. So that would be our response to your presentation. I do not know if the lady seated beside you is also from mowaa, she's from your chambers. So do I take it that mowaa has no presentation to make? mowaa already has before this committee a detailed response stating their side of the story. What they were expected to come here to do, sir, like you rightly, hello sir, like you know, of course, in a regular court of law, this is not a regular court of law, but in a regular court of law, when you file pleadings and you do not come forward to give evidence with relation to those pleadings, then I simply know what happens to the pleadings that are filed. The essence of asking mowaa to come was to come and give life and flesh to what we can tell their pleadings which are already before this panel. So sir, it would be good that if you could still contact them to come, we are just looking up, let them come and adopt what they have already presented before the House. So we move to another stakeholder while we give you an opportunity to consult your clients with regard to the way forward.
Managing Director of Edo State Geographical Information Service Edo GIS, Tony Igbazada, for a report, talks say mowaa never pay for the land wey belong to Central Hospital even though them get certificate of occupancy. He talks say mowaa acquire 6.2 hectares, leave Central Hospital with only 1 hectare and return 2.3 hectares only after the 2024 governorship election.
My name is to.look, Managing Director of Edo GIS. I'm here strictly to give a sequence of land registrations on mowaa, so to say, the history of the sequence of registrations. Mr. Chairman,
I'm sorry, Pressmen, you are actually obstructing our opinion. I need to get a better position. Thank you.
I was actually taking because we were behind the cameras, so that as some of our emotions can flow. But we are ready. Before now, Honorable Chairman, the issue of mowaa have been rearing up its name before 2022. We had in my office we had about 2 files for mowaa. One was for the proposed site, the location of their office along Exotic, where they acquired the past administration, gave them the previous office of the Ministry of Agri, Auditor General's office. That was where the festival came there. And to shortly after then, nothing was done on that file again. The file was just abandoned. The other existing file that has life in office had the first registration for Legacy Restoration Trust Limited. The address of the Legacy Restoration Trust Limited is number 4, Odino Drive, Oyi, Lagos. They applied for the CFO for 2.34 hectares of land. That was on the 21st of August 2021. This 2.34 hectares of land was on its current location of mowaa, or let me say it's on the location of the central hospital. 2.3 hectares of land was acquired, or the RDC of 2.3 hectares of land in 2021. Then on the 30th of August, the same Legacy Restoration Trust Limited got the RDC for 3.8 hectares of land. Then in October 2022, mowaa surrendered its CFO, which was not in our system, but we just know that they had a CFO, which they rendered to Legacy Trust, the Restoration Trust Limited. Apparently, what is happening was that mowaa gifted them all their land and liability assets on that same land, so that everything the CFO in that goal was for 6.2 hectares of land. I don't know whether the narration is clear to you.
Yes.
First of all, it was Legacy Trust
The presentation by to bring on this side of the divide, or you share with us when you are through.
You have it already presented them. I just wanted to make the sequence out of them so I can make the better meaning.
Thank you very much.
All the details are in what we have already said to you. What I'm just saying in November 2022, mowaa officially got a CFO for 6.210 hectares. Yes. On that same premises where you have the specialist hospital. At the end of the day, having these 6.2 hectares, the central hospital, which has been existing since 1904, was now left with less than 1 hectare. Less than 1 hectare, or let us say 1 hectare, to be on the comfortable side. The mowaa got 6.2 hectares and left barely 1 hectare for the hospital to exist or to use. And in the recent development, we discovered that the hospital was having problems of accommodation. Visitors, they cannot accommodate their vehicles. They also wanted to do more developments. They wanted to build mortuary and other offices. There was no space for them. And they kept complaining because they have been on that land since 1904. All of a sudden now they are now being threatened to leave their land.
So if I understand what you are saying, yes. In essence, the central hospital was the one holding title to that place.
So yes, they have the traditional title. They had the land. The central hospital occupied 7.03 hectares. Then mowaa came and took 6.2 hectares out of the 7.303 hectares, leaving them with barely 1 hectare to operate on. But in October 2024, 1 month after the election that brought in mowaa came to the office to reorganize their CFO and gifted 2.8 hectares to the hospital and took 4.3 hectares. What I mean is that from the 6.2 hectares they had, they reduced it to 4.3 hectares. Apparently, we don't know why they did that. They now have to adjust their occupation to a smaller size so that the hospital can have just 2.8 hectares. Mind this one came after the election of 2024. Apparently, for us, some of people believe they were just trying to right some of the wrongs by themselves, because it was like frustrating the hospital that has lifted on that place for over 100 years, trying to push them out, and it gave flesh to the rumor that was going around that the intention was actually to demolish the entire hospital and take the museum to occupy the land. So after the election of 2024, 1 month after, there was a turnaround. The people came back and gave the hospital 2.3 hectares, and they took the other 4.6 hectares. So what we are trying to say, so the government also found it that because of the constant complaints, and it is not the government that built infrastructure for hospitals, other agencies are also interested. They want to develop for central hospital, there was no space. So the current administration felt that it would be very unwise if you allow mowaa, which was also appearing as a private concern, a private agency, to take over the land of a public organization like the central hospital that has lived for over 100 years and also has become a heritage for the state. On that basis, the current administration decided to revoke the license of mowaa, so that mowaa can have 2.0 hectares and leave 4.9 hectares for the hospital to function. And at the end, the total will be 7.03 hectares. I don't know, I hope the figures are not confusing.
The fact that a memorandum of understanding was signed between the Edo State government at that time, on the 14th of May 2024, and mowaa, where they pushed out to my responsibilities as a soldier. I was instructed by the executive government to sign for Edo State government. That was a memorandum of understanding. It was executed on the 14th of May 2024. That's how much I remember. And it was a pursuant of the office I occupied there, and it was an assignment with legal character that I had to execute pursuant to the instructions of the law. And this agreement made the 14th day of May 2024 between the Edo State Ministry of Arts, Culture and Tourism, the public body of the Edo State government, and representing the Edo State government, the Museum of West African Arts Trust GT Limited, a not-for-profit company limited, by guarantee incorporated under the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with the registered office at 1 Sapele Road, Benin City. The ministry and mowaa are jointly referred to as parties, and individually as a party. One, purpose. The purpose of this memorandum of understanding is to memorialize the working relationship that was established in 2019 between the Edo State government, EDSG and mowaa, then known as the Legacy Restoration Trust, and provide a framework for cooperation in the arts and culture and tourism sectors between mowaa and the ministry. As the completion of the first phase of construction of the mowaa Institute and Creative District is anticipated at the end of this year. Background: the Edo State government has a strategic ambition to establish Edo State as a hub for culture and creativity, as well as tourism promotion. And this was a key driver in its decision to participate in the discussions leading to the formation of mowaa and the subsequent financial support for mowaa. The Edo State government views mowaa as a key catalyst that will drive job creation and opportunities in the Edo State associated with arts, culture, and tourism. 2.2. In order to attract international capital and ensure longevity, beyond political administration, mowaa was set up as an independent charitable trust to own and manage a new museum complex with its key initial projects in Benin City, Edo State. mowaa was constituted from the beginning with a majority of independent directors and structured with the intention of mobilizing donations and charitable funding from international and local foundations, individuals, and corporates. 2.3. With the potential return of the new bronzes, mowaa's original intention was to build infrastructure that would be capable of storing, safekeeping, and displaying arts and artifacts across West Africa from the ancient to the modern, inclusive of some resuscitated baby bronzes. However, when it became clear that the royal court of Benin wished for objects to be housed in the new royal museum, mowaa had focused more on the research, safekeeping, and display of arts and artifacts of West Africa, generally, and less on resuscitated baby bronzes. mowaa maintains a willingness to extend its technical expertise and support towards resuscitated baby bronzes. However, future decisions on mowaa, involvement in the storage, test, study, and or exhibition of the new process are subject to formal approval from relevant authorities and of key stakeholders support. 2.4. To date, mowaa has successfully raised over $18 million or $27 billion from local and foreign governments, international foundations, and philanthropists. These funds have been used to complete land acquisition, site preparation, including archaeological work, and construction of the first building, the mowaa Institute. 2.5. To date, the Edo State government has participated in providing funding for construction costs of mowaa Institute, formerly known as the Pavilion, which has assisted mowaa in attracting funding from third parties by demonstrating the state's commitment to arts and culture and mowaa sources. Funds were provided following an initial meeting request in March 21st, 2022 for counterpart funding for the construction of the institute, formerly known as the Institute, and subsequent official presentations to the Executive Council of the Edo State. 2.6. In order to ensure transparency and accountability, mowaa provides regular reports to EDSG government regarding construction, progress, design, and development updates of the mowaa campus sites within Edo State's creative districts and board papers to the Edo State government's board member.
Okay, Professor, thank you.
Committee member Honorable Lekki Hussaini come talk say report show say mowaa wey before na Legacy Restoration Trust and later mowaa claim say dem raise over $18 million wey be about 27 billion naira from donors. E come also blame former Solicitor General Professor Faith Osadolo for signing MOU wey support this claim without proper verification.
If you look at this MOU, your signature is there when you sign this. For that purpose, you're representing the government at that time. And a person of your experience, I don't think you will sign the document without knowing what you're signing. I don't think they put the gun to your head and say sign. So you must have understood the nature of the document that you were signing. What stood out to me was this $18 million in section 2.4. which you said was raised by donors this year. And part of it was to acquire land acquisition. But from the statement from MPGIS, it said no money was paid to GIS regarding land acquisition. So my question is that this $18 million USD, where is it? Who are the donors that provided this such money? I believe someone like yourself should be asking such questions instead of just signing a document that you can't speak to.
With due respect to the chairman of the members, is mowaa that claimed that such money was donated to it. And mowaa was already credited as far as this money is concerned. So it's mowaa that is doing that. It's mowaa that is doing so. Who donated, how much was donated, what was done with the funds.
It's not for yourself, but on behalf of the state government. So people cannot come tell the state government that God is money, and you will not say, can I have some evidence to prove to this my government advice?
You, sir, most respectfully, a very renowned professor of law, you are telling this man that what you merely did was to execute a document, the truth of the contents of which you could not verify. Is that what you are saying? So, if that is not what you are saying, can you again speak to the question of honorable six? The question is direct. The document does not speak for itself. The question is this: 2.4 states to date, mowaa has successfully raised. That is a statement of fact. To date, mowaa has successfully raised over $18 million, and we were kind enough to convert it to naira, 27 billion naira. The question now is this: who are the donors? How much did each donor bring to make up this sum of $18 million US?
Mowaa is not tonight.
Are you confirming that mowaa?
Yes.
So since you are confirming that mowaa actually made, no, excuse me, sir. You see that. Did you?
In the government, you have different passports.
Excuse me, Prof. My question is simple. It's a yes or no. Did you see any proof of the $18 million which you signed at mowaa has raised? Do you have proof of it?
It was not my duty.
Do you have proof of it?
Of course, there was proof because they didn't think that they had rejected it.
No. Let me prove that $18 million has been raised by mowaa, and if it did, who donated the money and where is the money?
It was confirmed to us by mowaa that they have us around.
Can we get the confirmation?
Is it document that is signed?
No, where is the confirmation?
I think it's continued. It is only when mowaa says what is continued is not what.
This memorandum of understanding is not a declaration by mowaa, Professor Sadolo.
Exactly.
This memorandum of understanding is
For this station, it is what parties are agreement. It is an agreement from the parties.
just they have made
As agreed, it's $18 million. So both parties have agreed that that money was there.
Of course. So that's when mowaa says it's not, it was not with them.
Okay.
From the document, the payment was with them.
Hold on.
But yeah, what happened?
Professor Sadolo, if mowaa comes tomorrow and says that money they never saw it, and you just sign it, so how will you look at the status as a professor?
You cannot say so. They signed it.
Simple question.
They signed it. They are bound. They signed it.
The memorandum you signed on behalf of the state with mowaa. And I'll drag you back to that 2.4. Because we are dealing with figures and monies of this magnitude, when you say to date, mowaa has successfully raised over $18 million. As simple as it may seem, I would have people have been told if you before you sign to be very specific of what that over is. look at it to say what you got. If you say it's over $18 million, then you should exact what that figure should be. Because we just been talking about 18 million, but that over can be correct again on our end here. If you say you receive close to 20-something million dollars. Because you said over. And for a memorandum of understanding, I don't think you should put your hand on this kind of signature to sign this kind of document. Thank you.
Now, this issue of money used for land acquisition, preparation, including archaeological work and construction of first building and mobile cities, can actually be addressed by mowaa itself. Mowaa is a party or has been invited to this investigation. Just as they will come and explain how what they spend the money on, how they acquire the land, because the authorities just gave information now that money was not spent. So mowaa can explain that. Mowaa can explain what was spent in preparing the land, in building the institutes. I can't respond to all of that. I was like
without you knowing nothing about what you were signing. The document, you prepare the document, and then you sign it.
I didn't prepare the document.
But you signed it. No. How can you say you didn't prepare it?
I didn't prepare it.
You were Solicitor General.
Yes.
This document was witnessed on your behalf by Osapolo Osare.
Yes, the Department of Legal Drafting.
Your staff.
Yes, the Department of Legal Drafting.
Your staff. So your subordinate brought you a document.
So we have the department. One was speak on the Ministry of Justice. I cannot speak on it. It was for the Department of Legal Drafting. So
a final question, sir. Why did you sign the document?
I signed for the state government. In pursuance of my responsibility as a state government.
So you signed to be ready and sign a professor of law. A professor of
law. Why not be fair to all parties? And the job got to be signed by your side. That's not true.
I got the letter. Okay, maybe subsequently I'll go to portion here. What about this? I will let you know something.
Thank you very much. Arrest and forcible presence of that party before us. I am sure they will say I am on the right party. So I need you to let your clients know that they should not be confused. The Edo State House of Assembly is the one with the statutory power to investigate and look into this matter because monies belonging to the people of Edo State have been expended.
My name is Dr. Desmond Abama, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Art, Culture, and Creative Economy. First of all, I'd like to inform us that I assume office as Permanent Secretary of that Ministry on the 6th of November 2025, following the general reshuffle of Permanent Secretary across the ministries and entities. Having said that, upon resumption, I was appointed by the various directors as it begins to study various files, particularly that of mowaa. May trust you to know that in the file, I simply saw 3 documents. One is the memorandum of understanding that our Bible Prof has read to us, and vouchers for payment. And another document titled Structure and Funding of the Museum of West Africa Arts, mowaa. Before I read that structure, I would like to just address the issue of vouchers payment because we'll be talking about it here. 4 payments were made, totaling 3.5 billion naira. In 4 churches. The first one was paid on the 22nd of December 2022 to Legacy Restoration Trust Limited to JTE. The sum is 700 million naira. The second one was paid on behalf, that is the first one, 7th of March 2022. Also to Legacy Restoration Trust Limited, so GTE. The sum is 800 million naira. The third one was paid on 15 December 2023 to mowaa Trust Limited, so GTE. The sum of 1 billion naira. And of course, the fourth one was paid on 6th November 2024 to mowaa Trust Limited, the sum of 1 billion naira.
What was that date?
The last date, 6th of November 2024. So the reason for all this payment, according to the various documents I read, was that for those various donors, individuals, and foundations to contribute their quota, the state government need to pay this money. Otherwise, those people will not pay their outreach for the project to start. That was why the state government committed this money at previous times to the project. On 14th May 2024, by Professor Fetus Adolo, then Solicitor General to the state government on behalf of the state government, and Philip Iheanacho, the Executive Director of mowaa, then oversighted by the legal drafting matters. That's what I saw.
Thank you.
Representative of the Benin Royal Palace, Chief Osaroida, come talk say the palace no get hand inside the mowaa project and come explain say even though say the Oba of Benin don't talk about plans for Benin Royal Museum, the palace no join mowaa at any level.
Let me thank the chairman for letting us know that mowaa is a magical baby that before the committee started they had to meet today. It was convenient for them to come. Unfortunately, this did not prevent the organization. I want to let honorable members know that the palace had no business with mowaa. We have never met with mowaa. We never had any form of interaction with mowaa. It is on record that I had discussion just between the state government, the last government, and the palace to a certain extent, and I will give you a methodology of our discussion or meetings. I want it to be noted too that the so-called Legacy Restoration Trust, we have never been members. We have met anybody or group of bodies to discuss or hold a meeting.
Sorry, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Saying you have never attended any meetings of Legacy Restoration.
Yes, we have never. We are not saying the truth. We are not part of that of the discussions, including the so-called mowaa. Mowaa to us are strangers, they're alien bodies. We do not know them. The so-called, because I was told from the submission of the former Secretary General that the MOU, the palace, of the Benin Royal Palace was supposed to be part of the so-called Legacy Restoration Trust. We have not had any discussion or any meetings with them. We don't even know their face. Let me give you the background to this whole drama. In the year 2016, just before that government of Basse came on board, Yoba had several years back been discussing with foreign institutions, foreign embassies, foreign cultural bodies, up to Smithsonian museums in America. Has been having this discussion before he ascended the throne Then, concerning the return of renewable artifacts, there was already progress going on. And when the government came on board, the other out of courtesies and openness revealed to him what he has, the progress he has made in himself and his personal efforts to get these artifacts returned to Nigeria. That was when the government constituents. The Oba opened his heart and hands, embraced them so that they can be part of the whole process, being government and the partners, as it should be partners in progress. And unfortunately, the former governor came up with a certain document introducing what do you call it, the legacy restoration trust, asking the Oba to give approval for the setup of that trust. The Oba refused because it was never discussed, it was never in contemplation. Then there was a law. Earlier before the Oba had introduced the Benin Museum concept to the government. So what the Oba said is the different documents now introducing the so-called Benin, the so-called legacy restoration trust. It was a shock, and the Oba refused to acknowledge it. The Oba did not respond to that document. At that time, the Oba wrote to the government that what they were suggesting in that document that was so-called letter was asking from him to disinherit himself. His natural spectrums.
You have a copy of this words.
I will get them in our next visit, in our next appearance. Yoba hesitated, and that was when the madness started. Instead of coming to explain why they had a brainwave and all that, the next thing we heard on air, that it is palace, was the constitution of a new body called a mowaa. I think that's the word. The new body. And the study of the they are government. We are not, we don't have any powers. So put in our hands and they started rambling. Before they talked about building the move from the mowaa to mowaa, building, acquiring part of the central hospital to become part of become their site. Whereas the original knowledge of the government, the Oba had already acquired parcels of land directly opposite the palace. You can see if you drive on this will be what we call Diamond Road today. There's a parcel of land on the right hand side. Up there opposite the palace. That land was and the buildings behind it, behind that parcel of land. The palace had acquired that and showed it to former government. And even the former minister for culture and municipal was a diamond. So the exam was even made because the Oba refused, but the palace refused them to bring her hands back or take her birthright. That's why this issue of acquiring the hospital global the body without the palace. It is just to note that even that land they are talking about at the same page. And with due respect to this land where we are sitting today, was given to the colonial administration by the Oba of Benin. So Constitution naturally the land belongs to the palace. The land that they gave to mowaa originally belongs to the palace. That was actually the part of the palace that was called Ibiwi. If you know the history, all these aspects of land, the Benin, what do you call it, the Bakassan Center, was Iwekwa, was the old palace, where the Oba himself, my brother, resided. Then that palace, that you have the hospital where they call the mowaa today, that land was where it was the harem, which is why the British came to But the thing we know as ordinary persons is that if you take a parcel of land and for any, if you acquire it, you want to acquire it for this, the first thing that should happen first with if you are the owner, the original owner, but not even fighting for that right. To say that the government had the right to just take it, what was given by the owners for the purpose of an hospital that will serve the whole generation of Benin and non-Benin. I was born there. Before the government ever touched it, before the government came to the stream. As I speak, that land has been given to an unknown body. We don't know the palace doesn't know anything about the mowaa as we speak now because we had no interaction with them. And the so-called NC Restoration Trust. As to it had it's equally interesting to note that in 2016, or there was the year now, when Yoruba was marking his second year anniversary on corruption anniversary, 2018, former governor Basile came to the palace and made a pledge publicly. It's a public land. There are videotapes that we have tapes to show you. And made a public declaration that the state government was going to contribute the sum of 200 billion. First of all, I said 500. Then I said 202 billion, for the construction of the Benin Royal Museum. That was a commitment that was made public. That he was going to make a contribution, the state government was going to make a contribution of 2 billion.
You will be able to provide us.
Yes, 2 billion to support the building of the Benin Royal Museum, which was the location then was directly next to the palace. It was after then we went to bring a letter asking for the government to approve the so-called legacy restoration trust, which we saw as a trap set to twist the hand of the palace to take what obviously belongs to the king. It is when we refused that the so-called mowaa idea came on board. Let me just put it clear before we come back to this time. We have no business with mowaa. We have no business with mowaa then, now, and in the future. We have no business with the Benin Restoration Trust. We had no business yesterday. We don't have any business today, and we don't have to.
For the Radisson Blu project, the House talks that the state spent 26 billion naira, take buy property and raise 17.5 billion naira from capital market with 18% interest wey make total money reach over 22 billion naira. The assembly also reviewed say TBL Limited Company wey dem register on 2nd May 2024 with 1 million naira share capital buy 80% of the project shares for 10 billion naira on 14 July 2024, but the money no reach Edo State hand as dem no see any trace of the money. The lawmakers contact say the transaction shele without the House approval or knowledge.
The issue related to Radisson Hotel. First and foremost, the journey towards the building of the Radisson Hotel started around 2021. That time I was sitting in the State at that time. Before I was employed or made gains, even though I was not too acceptable to me, but I had no choice. I had to take care of it. So when I got there, I discovered that the land or the property where Radisson Place presently situated was initially meant for this hotel, and so the land was the property and everything and all the appurtenances were, as the lawyers would say, were acquired at the cost of 2 billion. initial payment was 1 million naira, followed by supplemental payments of 250 million naira each, making total of 2 billion. Thereafter, a special purpose vehicle SPV for the hotel was incorporated. So it was called Hotel Investment and Management Company Limited. That was followed by the obtaining the necessary documentation like the CFO in the name of HIMC, that is Hotel Investment and Management Company. And that was followed by, the approval of the drawings for the hotel by the Ministry of Physical Planning. So, a series of other events took place. You learn thereabout. We learned that there is going to be a divestment because of the escalating cost of continuing the funding by the government. And machineries were set in motion by the government to divest their own interest in the hotel. And the eventual co-investor that got the approval of government was to.look Nigeria Limited. And the shareholding ratio was to be 80% for the co-investor and 20% for the government. And there were going to be 5 directors, 4 representing the co-investor and 1 representing the government through the Ministry of Finance. That was what happened. When the bond was floated, there's what we call bond trustees, represented by James. That was a special purpose vehicle that raised the fund for developmental activities for a state government in respect of this. So, the money realized from the bond did not come to Edo State Treasury. It is being disbursed by the bond trustee, which is River James, based on work certified to have been done. Most of these contractors that were engaged were paid by them, not by a state government. So at the time the thing was eventually divested, the government eventually divested. The plan was that the money raised from bond market, which is the 17.556 billion, is going to be a loan to the hotel, which is going to be paid by the hotel management by the time the hotel starts. The negotiations, all the negotiations, I was not there. And I'm not even sure if the commissioner was there, but at that time, we both traveled outside the country. They were to make payment of 10 billion and also source for further financial resources, maybe from the money market or whatever, of about 11-point-something billion. That was how all the arrangements were made by the government. And as the permanent secretary, when the ESCO passed the divestment, we took it to ESCO, and the divestment was approved. All the other necessary procedures, like the agreement, were all prepared, and all the agreements were also checked by those saddled with that responsibility to check them. And at the end of the day, as lawyer officer of the Ministry of Finance, then all the other long-lead item contractors. Now is 2 billion. 21st century is 1.5 billion. H5A is about 702.
And those ones not subcontractors to the general contractor. HIFC was incorporated as a limited liability company,
Yes.
for the purpose of boosting tourism and hospitality in Edo State. Am I correct?
Yes.
HIFC ownership of the then, I think, Ritz Hotel is used.
No, I didn't say this. The Edo State government has paid the 2 billion for the land and other expenses, about 2.6 billion. 2.6 billion.
2.6 billion.
Yes.
Those two government made 2.6 billion.
Yes, including cost of land.
Including cost. Then they realized 17.5 billion from the bond market.
For the bond.
Okay, that's 17.5 billion. The trustee spent 60 billion from it.
Yes, as at that time, we left off.
So what was the level of the project at that time?
Sir?
What was the level of the project? What level has the project attained at that time? Because you said people were the supervisory monitors for the project. So what was the level that was attained to be from the ministry?
I wouldn't know just the specifics what the level was.
Project you were supervising?
Maybe say supervising was wrong use of the words. What I was trying to say was that it was under the ministry, and there were engineers appointed by government, consultants who were doing the certification of work done and so on and so forth. To warehouse the money raised from the capital market. I think that was the same reason why the money that the investor is also bringing in should go to a neutral body, which is the bond trustees, who is disbursing money for the entire Radisson Hotel to add it to the balance of what they have to also, pay the contractors. Then in terms of resolution, well, I'm not aware that such thing should have come to the House for a resolution to be passed for the 10 billion fund they are bringing.
2 years or 3 years. So now you are 100 years. 3 years. Or how many years have you been in the insurance?
3 years.
So you were just appointed and posted. Okay. So what I want to ask you, you have told us that a decision to divest was taken in years. But the decision to apportion ratio was not taken in. So some of it just sat and allocated figures. Is that correct? Divestment decision was taken
I was not.
Yes.
Yes.
Government has its own. ESCO is recognized in the Constitution. I'm telling you, I'm asking you, were those decisions taken on the table like that? Because in the ESCO they said they should be divestment. But there was no ESCO to say as well proportion of operation. You want to let me?
Sir, that kind of thing took that decision.
Who are you?
My name is Martin Sakibi, Director of Finance and Ministry of Finance. That period they took the decision. The Radisson Hotel has been removed from us. I've removed from Ministry of Finance to the office of the Chief of Staff.
So when they did what?
When they took that decision of 80% and 20%,
So
we were not aware.
And the agreement that he signed?
It was when they brought the agreement for him to sign.
So when you now sign it, it's not know. So what are you saying? They have taken that decision to government house. But he signed the agreement.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, another question. Are you saying you signed for that operation?
No.
You signed no way.
Can I say something?
No, answer my question. You signed no way. You know what you were signing.
Those agreements were correct.
Yes, answer my
Answer the question, don't dance around.
I asked you a simple question. Did you sign for that operation? Okay, you signed no way. You know what you were signing. I will not answer. Yes or no? You say yes, I know what I was saying. Or no, I don't know what I was saying. I want you to answer that.
Before I answer that question,
Answer my question.
I want to show you what we said.
Answer the question that you show. Answer
After answering my question, you answered already. You signed already.
They brought the agreement.
Yes or no?
Answer this question.
Did you sign the agreement for that operation?
I signed that agreement after I got the share distribution certificate from the directors.
The agreement is
Just SLP and the secretary at that time, the things here. It's one of the documents I concluded.
All those things are just fraudulent. We'll get to that stage. What I'm telling you, the documents you signed them, you haven't known that they were done that. It's not so. So I think that they were done that exercise. Oh, I didn't know. I signed that. You can still present the sign of that. So I'll put them with you sign.
Well, when the document were brought to me, based on the shared allocation certificate, I signed.
Okay, based on the allocation certificate.
Yes.
When was the decision taken to get those allocation certificates? Where and when was it taken?
I think the people who signed the share certificate, one of them is I'm sure she should be able to explain.
No, you cannot be picking the one you like and the one you don't like. Says SSP for Indian government.
Okay, maybe the financial advisor.
So, yes.
I'm aware.
So what is that for?
Yeah.
What is that for? They took your 5%.
I think in the agreement, the intention from the beginning, as I was told, to get the hotel constructed and settled when they would divest. You get the point. So at the point of divestment, the 2.5% would be their commission on the value of the divestment process.
You get 2.5%.
That is, and I know in this case it was never paid by the government.
What will you say for the Lord?
It was never paid.
You just told us that after they took it away, you were not going to that. So why you confirm that it was not paid?
It was never paid by the government.
You said when they took it away to government house, you don't know what happened. So why will you not stand to say categorically now that you never paid?
Because if they were to be paid, maybe Ministry of Finance would have been aware.
So you are aware of the resident and Ministry of
Of
You are aware of the Ministry of Finance of the resident.
well, the one that concerns Ministry of Finance and maybe that has implication on our investment public operation code, I will be aware.
So all those ones that they were paid by the trustee, they are not bearing with the investment code.
Which one?
The one that the JDC was paying. They have no relationship with the investment code in the ministry. All those factors that were being prepared and they were being paid, the way with the charge was not the code in your ministry. When you now give 1,600,000 ordinary shares away, it was also not dated. My question is this: on what date did you give those shares away? That's one. Two, the agreement for the 2% success fee for divestment, 2.5% for divestment. Is it 2.5% of what? Of the total equity, right?
Even as you sit here now as permanent secretary, there is no proof that the Edo State House of Assembly authorized the movement of money belonging to Edo State to any escrow account. That is also a statement of fact. Number 3, the Edo State House of Assembly never appropriated a kobo out of the purported 10 billion naira. Therefore, it must be a necessary conclusion that since Edo State did not receive one kobo of the phantom 10 billion which you people took to God those who are kept in their account to be spending by themselves, Edo State has not sold 80% of its shares anywhere in any hotel. I think these are indisputable facts, not subject to any argument whatsoever. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If anybody says a 10 billion, it's very, very difficult. We will call the JDC or whatever. They will come. If they don't come, we will raise letters out of the presidency. We will get them wherever they are. The other one was saying, if you receive 10 billion, you receive 10 billion. There was never anything billion. There's no right after them. And they taught everybody at us and they say, well, and I think if you have told them, committee members, I signed this on this on that very it will be easier for you. It will be easier for you because at the end of the day, you don't see how you will substantiate all these things. And still be seen to be very capable to manage your office.
On Friday, 21st November 2025, the Adult Committee on the Radisson project led by Honorable Jonathan Yamawu visited the construction site to check how far work don go and how them they use the money for the project. During the visit, Honorable Yamawu contacted the inspection to confirm progress and make sure say the loan wey them collect they used well.
This is an ad hoc committee set up by the Edo State House of Assembly to unveil the real owners of Radisson Hotel. So our visit here today is a prelude to our public hearing we had yesterday. So we have really come here to see if what Edo State government money is spent on is really on ground. Because people are saying they have different contractors, subcontractors. Some of the contractors, they were with us yesterday. The essence of our coming here now is to really see what they have done with the money so far given to them. Because we are aware that to fund this hotel, the sum of 17.5 billion naira was raised from the capital markets, a fund that the Edo State government is paying for monthly till 2030. So we are here now to see that 17.5 billion. To what extent have they spent it? So that we now know whether the project is going as planned by the state government. So at the end of the day, we will now know who are really the real owners. Is it the person that spent 17.5 billion or somebody that did not spend anything? So this committee is to make a fact-finding committee, let's call it like that, to let us see, in addition to the Edo State money of 17.5 billion and the 2 billion that was spent in acquiring this property earlier, about 19.something billion. So let us see whether there's an additional money from other groups, or is the money that Edo State floated from the finance market that is entirely on this project. So that is the essence of our being here.
Project lead Ugochukwu Adegbogbo assures say the contractors they committed to deliver better work and then they work with government to meet standards.
So from when we took over, yes, the government bought the property for 2 billion, floated the bond for about 17.5. But as owners, we have spent verifiable more than 30 billion naira. Still spending, looking at raising another 20 billion naira to spend on this project. Yes, there was a building. Yes, there was all that. But a building doesn't just make a hotel. There's more to a hotel than a building. And we are fully committed to this project. We are fully committed to partnership with the government. We're not here to, be in any situation. We're here to make sure this is completed and have the first guests come to the hotel. So the only thing I can say that apart from what the government spent initially, we have brought a lot of money to the table. We have brought our expertise. We have brought what we know in the industry. We're not just, it's an industry we play in. You understand what I'm saying? So with all due respect to the committee members who are on a fact-finding mission, I know whatever they are looking for, they will find it. And at the end of the day, we will be proven right that we are not just, not just partners without money, but partners that has borrowed heavily to invest in this project, to make every Edo State citizen proud.
The ad hoc committee will reconvene on Monday, 24 November 2025 by 2 o'clock for afternoon, still for Edo State House of Assembly complex. Make una no forget say, as we see am, na so we dey talk am. We not the take blame. Ekata Ojisle, TMC News.
I think the whole essence of this is for clarity purpose, to know who has cheated Edo State, who have done well, so that those who claim they owned that same mowaa can come and defend what they have. They presented whatever that made them the owners. But you come and defend it. You set a certain date. On the date, you are nowhere to be found. And the lawyers defending them are there just to protect their interest. Whether you like it or not, even if they know the truth will always be that thing they will not say simply because they are protecting the interest of their own clients. Whether anybody like it or not, all politicians are the same. Because the General Obaseki is not a saint. But let him not claim to be sent among wolves, because he cannot tell Edo people that he was living with his own salary. As we speak, there is war in Urion. All the landed property be owned by villagers using on a regular basis for farming has been hijacked. So to Saro Farm, whatever name they call it. All of them at the moment are dragging how to coup back their landed property. How would you do that without informing them, or rather being compensated? Anyway, whatever you think, drop your comment in the comment section once again. Kudos to this committee.